Social capital, strength of the community, and community level governance. The more you build social capacity, the less you have to think in terms of infrastructure, right? So social capacity, particularly in a place like Africa, is this should probably be the number 1 and number 3 point should probably be the things that we walk away with in this room, saying that if we have to do resilient systems, we have to come up with multiple dependency paths, and we need to create capacity, social capacity. Those are the two. If you walk away with 2 principles, I ask you to look at those. But there are others. Innovation, agility, capacity to take non-traditional action. Innovation, what you're learning and what we've been doing today, you're already amazingly innovative people, which is a testimony to the kind of work that has happened. It's emblemized by the quality of the parts of the wall. That innovation capacity you have to take to the community, because innovation is capacity. Okay? Now this is very similar, just a technicality. You can have overlap of functions. One is redundancy of functions, that is overlap of functions. The third thing is information feedback loops. If you look at leverage points and which levers are really, really strong, I mentioned the king of all levers yesterday, paradigms. You change the paradigm, you change everything. If you want to grasp the biggest lever of them all, is the paradigm. But the information feedback loops, having knowledge and being able to have the knowledge to act again and creating those, it's very close second. It's very, very strong. So think in terms of how you're going to create information bases and find feedback loops as you create your system. It's very powerful, right? Ecosystem services and biodiversity, creating environmental capacity. The environment is the bedrock on which we stand. We are making fractures, lines of fracture on the environment, and there is no ground under it. When it breaks, that's when you get drought, that's when you get water stress, that's when you get food, and we go very low on the Maslow's need hierarchy. Maslow's need hierarchy is where, and the bottom is where you just worry about subsistence. And when you're worrying about subsistence, you cannot think about any other kind of growth. So if you don't know how to swim, it doesn't matter if you have a PhD from Makerere. If you get thrown into boiling waters of a river, a rapids, if you don't know how to swim, the only thought you have is how to get to shore. Once you get to shore, you think about how you can use your PhD, but not when you're in the water, right? So you definitely want to create the capacity such that food security, etc., are the first things that you nail, and environmental capacity is one of them, right? So you want to actually give people the ability to know that their income is secure 6 months out, 1 year. Because if you can give them that assurance, some hint, some insurance, then they can think about tomorrow. If you can't get them to do that, they'll think about the next lunch, right? The next meal. So that's a very, very important thing. Capacitance, floats, and buffers. That means that if, for example, if you're looking at a herdsman in the horn, and they are being subjected to a head of cattle, and 3/4 of them are going to die, well, they're going to die if there's no stockpile of food, right? But if you think in terms of slowly creating stockpiles, so that if there is a short stint that they have to withstand, then you have to create floats, buffers, and capacitance. There are many ways of doing it. One of them is to create diversity again, so that all of it is not depending on something that is in short supply. So this is something, agency and self-efficacy. Think of it in sociological terms. If you have someone who's been subjected to very adverse conditions for a long period of time, generations, then you're fatalistic in your thinking. You are a flotsam and the river of consequence, and things just happen to you. You just think it's an act of God, right? You don't think you can change anything. If for generations you don't think you can change anything, you don't look at the world and spot opportunities. You don't even think it's a problem. This is just what happens to you. But if you bring the ability to act and to solve even tiny problems, it creates a profound change in how people think of themselves, and they are able to solve their own problems. You take them higher on what's called self-efficacy, which is a very, very strong principle in social psychology. Self-efficacy. Okay? I'll bang your wrist.